So, when it comes to implementing ethical AI for the federal government or any public sector agency like state, local, municipal, etc., it's very important to remember the frameworks of ethical AI. There are multiple components that comprise the implementation of responsible, in other words, an ethical AI solution. Number one is bias. Number two is responsible use cases. Number three is interpretability or transparency. Number four is fairness. And number five is actual interpretation of the algorithms. So here I will cover a couple of most important aspects. Number one is bias. Since AI is built on mostly historical data, so if you're talking about machine learning, you use historical data to write predictive algorithms. If you talk about generative AI, you are using unstructured text and image data from across the internet to build the large language models. So when it comes to data and information, whether it is in your organization or across the internet, humans create these elements and humans have biases, and hence these biases seep into the data. So it's very important when you deal with data to keep that in mind and look for elements of bias. This could involve what if scenarios, or if the data is skewed, question why there is data skewness. Number three is if there is no data present in some areas, you want to understand the backstory of why no data is present. So it's very important when you are implementing AI solutions to pause and think of the bias in data. Next comes interpretability. And this seems like a new term, but it is very specific to AI. What it simply means is understanding the decisions that AI is making to the extent that it is possible for anybody to understand. What that means is we don't need to know the math behind the algorithms, but most importantly, what are the parameters and drivers that make a decision? So if you're using an algorithm in criminal justice and the recommendation is that is a bailable or not bailable offense, you want to understand what is driving that decision. What are the parameters that went into making the decision? And when it comes to interpretability, there are multiple machine learning techniques that help with the interpretability of the decision making algorithms. In generative AI, interpretability is still new, but linking back to source documents is one way you can actually implement interpretability in your solution. Number three is transparency. So as generative AI has exploded, more and more organizations are utilizing AI solutions, but it's very important to be transparent about the use of AI in your organization. So for example, if you're using AI for recruitment, it's important to declare to candidates that you are using AI for recruitment. If you have a chatbot on your website and for customer service support, it's important for customers to be aware that they are speaking to an AI generated bot. So that level of transparency has to be declarative in your AI designed solutions. So these are the three main aspects when it comes to implementing responsible or ethical AI solutions for a public sector organization.